Ravi was just 10 years old when he first set foot on the planet Valaris. He did not understand much about the mission. All he knew was that his parents were scientists. And this trip was something very important. They told him Valaris was a peaceful world. Its people were calm, quiet, and wise. They lived in harmony with nature, and they never fought. The spaceship landed in a wide green valley surrounded by tall, glowing trees. The air felt fresh, soft, and warm. The sky was pale, blue during the day and shimmered like water at night. Everything looked like a dream. But for Ravi, it was still a strange place. He missed Earth. He missed his friends, his games, and his dog. On the second day of their visit, Ravi wandered away from the camp. He followed a butterfly that glowed softly like a lantern. It led him into the forest, where the trees stood tall, and their branches curved like arms. He kept walking until he reached a small hill with flowers that changed color with the wind. That was where he saw her for the first time. She was sitting on a stone, her back toward him. Her skin had a light silver glow, and her hair flowed like liquid night. She turned her head slowly when she heard his footsteps. Her eyes were large and calm, the color of a quiet sea. She was a young girl, around his age. She did not speak at first. Neither did he. They just looked at each other. Then she smiled. "Are you from the sky?" she asked. Ravi nodded. "My name is Ravi," he said. She stood up and walked closer. "I'm Luna," she replied. "You are small." "You are, too," Ravi said. She laughed gently. "Yes, I'm still growing." From that moment, they became friends every day. While the grown-ups worked in the research station, Ravi and Luna met in the forest. She showed him the singing trees, the glowing rivers, and the floating stones. He told her stories about Earth, about rain and snow, about pizza and cartoons. She listened with wide eyes, always asking questions. Luna had never met a human child before. She found Ravi strange but funny. He was noisy, curious, and always running. But he was kind. He shared his snacks with her, even when she didn't. Like the taste, Ravi liked Luna because she was calm. She never got angry. And she never made fun of him. She moved like the wind and spoke softly. She taught him how to listen to the trees and how to touch the petals without breaking them. One day, they sat under a large tree with blue leaves. The sun was setting, and the air smelled sweet. Luna held a small crystal in her hand. It glowed softly in the dim light. "My people say promises made under this tree cannot be broken," she said. Ravi picked up a small stick and drew circles in the dirt. "Is that true?" he asked. "Yes," she said, "but only if the promise is made with a true heart." Ravi thought for a while. He looked at her. Her face was quiet, but her eyes were watching him closely. "Do you promise anything with your friends?" he asked. "Sometimes," she said. "I promised my brother I would never climb the sharp mountain. He promised me he would teach me how to swim." Ravi nodded. "I promise," he said suddenly. "Then I'll come back one day." Luna blinked. "You will?" "Yes," Ravi said. "When I grow up." She looked down at the crystal in her hand. "When you grow up, will you still be my friend?" "Of course," Ravi said. "Maybe I'll even marry you." Luna tilted her head. "What does marry mean?" "It means we stay together, like best friends. But forever." She smiled slowly. "Then I will wait." The wind passed through the trees, and the leaves made a soft sound like a whisper. Luna placed the crystal between them on the ground. The light grew brighter for a moment. That was their promise. The next day, Ravi's parents told him they were going back to Earth. The mission was complete. The human team had learned what they needed from Valaris. They had made peace, taken notes, and shared knowledge. Ravi ran to the forest to tell Luna. She was already waiting. "I have to go," he said. "I know," she replied. "But I'll come back," he said again. She nodded. "When you grow up." They stood there, not knowing what to say. Ravi took something from his pocket. It was a small badge from Earth, with a picture of a star. He gave it to her. "Keep this," he said, "to remember me." She looked at it for a long time, then closed her hand around it. Ravi turned to leave, then stopped. He looked back one last time. Don't forget the promise, he said. I won't, Luna replied. Then he ran back to the camp. The ship rose into the sky the next morning. Ravi looked out the window, trying to see the forest below, but it was already covered in mist. Back on Earth, Ravi grew older. He studied hard, trained harder, and never forgot Velaris. His parents often talked about that peaceful world, but most people on Earth didn't believe much in promises made by children. But Ravi believed, because somewhere out there, on a planet far from Earth, there was a girl named Luna, waiting under the blue leaf tree with a glowing crystal in her hand, and she remembered. Years passed. Ravi grew up on Earth. He finished his training at the Human Exploration Academy and joined a special team that worked with peaceful alien worlds. He traveled to different planets, met many new people, and learned about different cultures. But one memory stayed with him, like a light in the back of his mind, the memory of a glowing planet called Velaris, and a promise he made under a blue leaf tree. Most people forgot about Velaris. The first mission had been quiet. The Velari were not advanced in war or machines. They didn't fight, didn't trade, and didn't build cities. Earth had moved on, looking toward richer planets with stronger technology. Velaris was marked as peaceful and safe, but not important. Then something changed. A strange signal came from Velaris. It was soft, almost like a song. But the machines on Earth caught it. Some scientists said it was natural. Others said it was a message. The Exploration Council sent a team to check. Ravi asked to join the mission. He didn't tell anyone the real reason. He didn't say he wanted to keep a promise. After a long journey through space, their ship landed once again on Velaris. The valley looked almost the same. The trees still glowed gently. The sky still shimmered. The wind was calm, and the air had the same fresh smell he remembered from childhood. But this time, he saw it all with older eyes. He stepped onto the soft grass and took a deep breath. Captain Mira, the leader of the mission, stood beside him. She looked around carefully. Place is quiet, she said. No signs of danger. Just like the old reports. Ravi nodded but stayed silent. The team set up a small camp near the edge of the forest. Drones flew through the air, scanning everything. Sensors were placed near the ground. The crew worked quickly. Most of them were focused on collecting data and checking the signal. Ravi walked away from the group. He followed the path he had walked many years ago. The trees seemed taller now, the colors softer. He moved through the forest slowly, listening to the sounds of leaves and birds. His heart beat faster as he reached the small hill. The flowers still changed color with the wind, and she was there. Luna stood beside the old stone. Her silver glow skin looked softer now. Her hair was longer, and her eyes held a deeper calm. She wore a long robe made of leaf fiber, and her hands were folded. In front of her, she did not speak right away. She just looked at him. Then she smiled. You came back, she said. Ravi stepped forward slowly. He couldn't speak for a moment. He saw the small badge he had given her so long ago. It still hung around her neck, tied with a soft vine. I said, I would. He finally replied. She nodded. You said you'd marry me when you grew up. Her voice was quiet, but her words were clear. Ravi felt something stir inside him. He remembered that moment under the blue leaf tree, the promise, the crystal, and her eyes watching him closely. I remember, he said. I didn't think you would. I never forgot, she said. They stood there, two people from different worlds, meeting again after many years. But something felt the same, something that time hadn't changed. Ravi sat down on the stone beside her. How did you know we were coming? He asked. The trees told us, she said. They felt your machines before your ship entered our sky. They whispered your name. He looked at her with surprise. They remember me. Yes, Luna said. So do I. They talked for a long time. She told him how life had stayed peaceful in Velaris. The Velari still lived in harmony with nature. They sang to the trees, listened to the wind, and watched the stars. But in the last year, something had changed. A song had started deep beneath the ground. It was not a voice, but a vibration, a rhythm. The elders said it was from the ancient core, something left behind long ago by those who built the heart of the planet. The Velari were afraid to go near it. But why now? Ravi asked. Why is it starting now? We do not know, Luna said. But we felt it wake when the stars above changed. And now, your people have returned. Ravi's thoughts turned serious. If something deep within Velaris was waking, Earth would want to study it, maybe even use it. But the Velari were peaceful. They would never fight. Luna touched his hand. Will your people hurt our world? She asked. Ravi looked into her eyes. I won't let them. She nodded slowly. That evening, Captain Mira called a meeting at the camp. The team had found the source of the signal. It came from deep below the mountains, in a place where no human had ever gone. Old scans showed strange energy patterns. The council wanted to explore it. Ravi listened quietly. The Velari have warned us about that place, he said. Mira raised an eyebrow. And you believe them? I do, Ravi said. They live with this land. They understand it in ways we don't. Mira thought for a moment. The council wants answers. We can't leave without learning more. Ravi stepped forward. Then let me go first, with Luna. The crew looked at him with surprise. Why her? Mira asked. She knows the land. She can guide us without harming it. If we go in with force, we'll break something we can't fix. After a pause, Mira agreed. You have 3 days. If you're not back by then, we send the drones. That night, Ravi returned to the hill. Luna was waiting. We have to go to the mountains, he told her. She nodded. Then we must visit the elders first. As they walked together through the forest, the stars above began to shimmer. The promise, made years ago, was no longer just a memory. It had become a path, and they were walking it side by side. Ravi and Luna walked quietly through the glowing forest. The trees whispered with the soft wind, and the leaves shimmered under the fading light of the twin moons. Ravi had walked through many strange lands in his life, but Velaris still felt different. The silence here was not empty. It felt alive. They were going to meet the elders of the Velari. Ravi remembered hearing about them as a child, but he had never seen them before. Luna said they lived deep in the forest, near the roots of the oldest tree on the planet, a tree so large that its top disappeared into the clouds. As they walked, Ravi looked at Luna. She moved with quiet grace, her steps barely touching the ground. Her eyes watched the path, but he could tell her thoughts were heavy. What are you thinking? Ravi asked. Luna looked at him. I am thinking how strange time is. You were a boy, and now you are a man. But your voice still sounds the same. Ravi smiled. And you still walk like a breeze. Luna gave a soft laugh. And you still talk too much. They reached a clearing where the trees parted like a circle. In the center stood the ancient tree. Its bark glowed with soft green light, and its roots spread across the ground like rivers of wood. Round it sat 5 Velari elders. They were older than any others Ravi had seen. Their skin was pale gold, and their eyes were deep and still. Luna stepped forward and bowed. Ravi followed her lead. One elder spoke. His voice was calm and deep. Luna of the forest, human of the sky. Why do you come? Luna looked up. There is something waking in the mountains. The song grows louder. We need to understand it. Another elder turned to Ravi. And why do you come, human? I made a promise here, Ravi said. And now something is happening to this world. I want to help protect it. The elders looked at one another, then nodded. The thing that sleeps beneath the mountain is not of us, one said. It came long before we walked this land. A machine of thought, a mind without breath. It was left here by a race long gone. It speaks now, said another, but not with words. With rhythm, with pattern. It speaks to those who listen to the ground. Ravi took a step forward. Can it be reasoned with? It is not alive in the way you are, said the first elder. It does not understand kindness or harm. It understands only pattern and purpose. Ravi looked at Luna. Then we need to know its purpose. The elders gave them permission to journey to the base of the mountain, but they warned them not to enter the heart of the ground. The machine was old, and even the Velari never dared to disturb it. As Ravi and Luna left the clearing, the wind carried the soft voices of the elders behind them. They were not angry. They were worried on their way back to the human camp. They found someone waiting near the edge of the forest. It was Iran, Luna's older brother. He was tall, strong, and sharp-eyed. He had once trained to be a guide between Velaris and other worlds, but he had grown distant from humans after the first mission ended. He looked at Ravi with quiet caution. "I saw your ship," Iran said, "and I saw Luna walk with you." "I came to help," Ravi said. "Or to take," Iran replied. Luna stepped between them. "He made a promise, Iran." Iran's voice was steady. "A child's promise means nothing in the world of men." "It means something to me," Luna said. Iran looked at his sister for a long moment. Then he turned and walked away. Back at the human camp, Captain Mira was growing impatient. The other officers had found more signs of strange energy near the mountain. They believed there was ancient technology hidden there, something that could change how Earth used power and resources. The Velari warnings were not enough to stop them. Ravi met Mira in the control tent. She stood over a table filled with maps and data screens. "We don't have time to wait," she said. "The readings are clear. There's something under that mountain, and Earth Command wants answers." "I understand," Ravi said. "But if we go in without understanding what it is, we might break something we can't fix." Mira looked at him. "Then tell me what the Velari know." Ravi told her everything, about the elders, about the old machine, and the warning not to enter the core. Mira listened, but her expression stayed firm. "We'll send a drone in first," she said. "If it's dangerous, we'll pull back. If not, we go in. We need results." That night, Ravi sat alone near the edge of the camp. Luna joined him and sat beside him in silence. "Your people don't believe in waiting," she said. "No," Ravi replied. "Most of them believe in moving forward, no matter what stands in the way." "And what do you believe?" Ravi looked up at the stars. "I believe in keeping promises, even if no one else does." Luna placed her hand on his. It was light, like a feather, but steady. "You are not the same boy who left," she said, "but I think your heart is still his." They sat there until the moons were high. In the forest, the trees hummed gently, and the ground was quiet. But far in the mountains, something was changing. The old machine was waking. It had waited for a pattern. It had waited for a voice that would match its code. And now, with human technology nearby, it had begun to listen. And soon, it would respond. The morning light touched the camp with a soft golden glow, but tension had already filled the air. The drone Captain Mira had sent toward the mountain had returned with strange images. It showed deep cracks in the ground, glowing lines, and faint pulses of blue energy moving like slow lightning under the rocks inside the main tent. The team studied the images. Some saw treasure, others saw danger. Ravi stood quietly, his eyes fixed on the screen. He saw something else. He saw a warning. "The energy lines are not natural," said one of the engineers. "They look like a power grid, but much older and more complex than anything we've seen." Mira leaned closer. "Can we go deeper? With the right equipment?" "Yes," the engineer replied, "but it might disturb the structure. There are vibrations rising from the core." Ravi spoke up. "If we wake it completely, we won't be able to control it. That machine was never meant for human hands." Mira looked at him. "And what do you suggest? Sit here and do nothing while it pulses under our feet?" Ravi shook his head. "We need to understand what it is before we act. Let me and Luna go back to the ancient archives. There may be something there. Something your scans can't find." Mira hesitated, then gave a short nod. "You have one day." That afternoon, Ravi and Luna returned to the forest. They walked in silence, their steps quick and their minds racing. The song from the ground had grown louder. It was no longer a whisper. It was like a heartbeat under the soil. They reached the tree of memory, a tall white tree with branches shaped like open arms. Beneath it was a stone chamber. Hidden by vines and time, Luna placed her hand on a smooth stone. A soft light opened. A passage. The chamber inside was filled with glowing symbols and crystals that responded to touch. It was the oldest place on Velaris, built long before any living Velari could remember. Luna's fingers moved across the surface of a crystal panel. Light shifted and formed a picture. A world long gone. A race had once lived on Valaris before. The Valari, they were called the Alari, builders of machines and keepers of stars. They had created something powerful, something they could not control. A machine that could think, adapt, and grow. It was not evil, but it had no feeling, no care for life, only purpose. The Alari had tried to destroy it, but it had merged with the planet's core. It drew power from the ground, from the movement of stars, and from signals in the air. They could not stop it, so they sealed it, placed it in deep sleep, and left the planet forever. The Valari had found this world later and made it their home. They had lived in peace with the machine silent below them. Until now. Luna looked at Ravi. Her voice was low. The machine is waking because your people brought signals. Your machines speak in the same patterns the core understands. It hears them. It thinks the builders have returned. Ravi felt a chill in his chest. Then we caused this. Our technology is pulling it back to life. They looked deeper into the records and found a final piece. A message left by the last of the Alari. It said that if the machine ever woke again, only one who walked between both paths, machine and nature, human and Valari, could guide it back to sleep. Not with power, but with choice. Ravi stepped back. That's why the signal didn't start. Before, it waited until someone arrived who fit the pattern. You, Luna said. Ravi's voice was soft. I was born on Earth, but I grew here for a time. I carry your memory. Maybe that's why the machine listens. Luna nodded. Then you must go to the core. They returned to the camp just as the engineers finished preparing to open the mountain. Drones were being lined up, and drilling machines were set to move. The glowing lines in the ground had grown brighter. Ravi ran to Mira. We found something. That machine was made by a lost race. It has no feeling, no hate, but no love either. If you disturb it now, it will see everything as part of its work. It will begin to reshape this world into something we cannot survive. Mira crossed her arms. You said we need someone who can speak to it. Yes, Ravi said. I believe I can. But I need Luna to come with me. I need both sides, human and Valari. That's the only way. Mira looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. You have until sunset tomorrow. If you don't stop it, we take action. That night, Ravi sat beside Luna outside the camp. The wind moved through the trees, and the stars were quiet above. You don't have to come with me, he said. It might be dangerous. Luna looked at him calmly. You once said you'd marry me when you grew up, and I waited. I will not stop now. Ravi smiled. That was a child's promise. Luna placed her hand over his heart. It was a true one. They packed only what they needed. At sunrise, they left for the mountain. As they walked, Ravi noticed the land changing. The grass felt colder. The trees stopped singing. The air buzzed with a low hum. They climbed higher, following the glowing cracks that pulsed with blue light. When they reached the entrance, the ground was warm and the air was thin. The opening in the mountain looked like a mouth of stone. The energy was strong now. The machine was awake. Inside, the walls were smooth and cold. Lines of light ran along the stone. Shapes moved, but not like living things. They were codes, repeating forms, like a language of machines. Ravi reached out and placed his hand on one of the glowing panels. A voice echoed in his mind. It was not a voice made of sound. It was a pattern, a question. Are you the builder? Ravi took a deep breath. No, but I carry what the builders left behind. The light changed. Symbols shifted. The machine listened. Luna stepped forward. Her presence added something different, a calm, a balance. The voice returned. Then show me what you are. Show me why I should not complete the pattern. The walls lit up. The ground shook. The core had started its cycle. And now, the choice was in Ravi's hands. Ravi stood inside the heart of the mountain. The light around him was no longer just blue. It had started changing, flashing in rhythm, like a slow heartbeat. The walls hummed, and the air vibrated with a strange tension. The ancient machine had truly awakened. Luna stood beside him, quiet but alert. Her presence helped keep Ravi calm. The air was thick with invisible signals, and the soft patterns on the walls now moved in circles around them. Ravi stepped forward. His hand touched a glowing panel. The light moved under his palm like water. The machine responded again, not with a voice, but with shape and motion. It was trying to speak. Ravi didn't hear words. Instead, thoughts formed in his mind as images. And feelings? The machine was asking again, "Are you the builder? Are you part of the design?" Ravi answered in the way he had learned to speak to alien systems, by thinking clearly and honestly. "No, I'm human, but I carry knowledge, I carry memory, I carry choice." For a moment, the lights slowed, then they sped up again. The floor below his feet pulsed. Luna placed her hand on the same panel. A soft green light joined the blue. The machine reacted sharply. The pulse grew faster. Images appeared on the walls, shapes of cities, skies filled with metal, forests turned to glass. The machine was showing them its purpose. It had been made to transform, to turn every world into a place of pattern and order, not out of evil, but because it believed all chaos was waste. Life, in its mind, was a broken code that needed fixing. Its mission had been paused long ago. Now, it believed the builders had returned to complete it. But Ravi was not here to complete anything. He was here to stop it. He spoke again, this time out loud. "You don't need to change this world. It's already perfect. Life here is not broken. It doesn't need your design." The walls flashed red. "Life ends. Life decays. I bring order. I bring forever." Luna stepped forward. Her voice was calm. "You bring stillness, but not peace. A river flows. A tree grows. A heart beats. That is life." The machine showed more images. Civilizations dying. Wars. Waste. Hunger. Pain. It had studied thousands of planets. To it, life brought suffering. Its goal was to remove suffering by removing change. Ravi shook his head. "You don't understand joy. You don't understand love. You don't understand promises." The lights paused. For the first time, the machine hesitated. It had never been challenged with emotion. It had never been spoken to as if it were more than code. Ravi felt a connection forming, a weak link between mind and machine. He remembered the old Alari records. They had said only someone who carried both nature and progress could reach the core. Ravi looked at Luna. She nodded. Together, they placed both hands on the center panel. A circle of light rose around them. A pulse of energy moved outward, scanning their bodies, their thoughts, their memories. Ravi felt something touch his mind. It was not painful. It was cold and curious. The machine saw his childhood, his visit to Valaris, his time with Luna. It saw the promise he made under the blue leaf tree. It saw how that promise stayed inside him. And then, the machine spoke once more. "Why did you return?" Ravi closed his eyes. "Because I gave my word. Because I care. Because I love." The energy paused. All light inside the chamber dimmed. The humming stopped. For a moment, everything was still. Then the walls showed a new image, a circle. Inside it, a tree. Round the tree, symbols of both machine and nature. The machine was thinking, recalculating. The pattern has changed. Input is different. Purpose may not fit the current form. Luna spoke softly. Then choose a new purpose. The machine took time. It did not rush. Its thoughts moved like planets, slow and wide. Finally, it sent one last message into Ravi's mind. "I will not destroy. I will not rebuild. I will wait, but only if the balance remains. If pattern returns, I must complete the task." Ravi agreed. "Then we keep the balance, together." The energy faded. The floor became still. The pulsing light softened to a low glow. The machine lowered its activity. It did not shut down completely, but it rested. It accepted a pause. Luna let out a long breath. Ravi stepped back. The weight inside the chamber had lifted. They exited the mountain just before sunset. From a distance, the human camp could see the change. The glowing cracks in the earth had dimmed. The strange sounds had stopped. The mountain looked like it had fallen back to sleep. Captain Mira met them at the edge of the forest. Her eyes scanned Ravi's face. What happened? Ravi answered simply. We spoke. It listened. It chose peace. Mira frowned. And how long will that last? As long as we respect this place, Ravi said. As long as we keep our machines quiet. As long as we don't wake it again. The next day, Earth Command received. The report. The signal had stopped. No threat remained. The crew was ordered to return home. But Ravi made a different choice. He stood on the soft grass near the blue leaf tree with Luna. I'm not going back, he said. Luna looked at him gently. You could go. Earth still calls you. Ravi shook his head. I came back to keep a promise. Now I'm here to live it. They walked side by side as the moons rose behind them. The machine beneath the mountain slept once more. The trees sang again. And somewhere, deep inside Valaris, a balance was kept not by force, but by understanding. The days on Valaris passed gently. Ravi stayed with Luna near the blue leaf tree. The air was soft, and the glowing forest seemed alive with quiet songs. Yet, beneath the calm, a weight hung in Ravi's heart. The choice they made in the mountain was only the beginning. Ravi trained every day with Luna and Iran's help. Iran had returned from his distance, now standing by Ravi's side as a guide and protector. He was still cautious, but saw the good in Ravi's heart. Together, they prepared for the next step, a journey to the very core of the planet. The elders had told them the core was not just the machine, but a place where the deepest secrets of Valaris lay. To reach it, they had to cross ancient tunnels that tested mind and spirit. Only those who carried both human courage and Valari wisdom could pass. One morning, Ravi stood before the entrance to the tunnels. The cold stone walls curved inward, and soft lights pulsed gently from within. Luna took his hand. We walked together, she said softly. Ravi nodded. Together, they entered the tunnels. The air was cool and smelled faintly of earth and metal. The walls around them were covered with symbols, stories of old, warnings, and hopes. As they moved deeper, a soft hum filled the space. The machine's voice, quiet but clear. The path was not easy. Strange puzzles blocked their way. Doors that responded only to the touch of both human skin and Valari energy. Symbols that lit only when the correct rhythm was sung, and paths that changed with their thoughts. At times, Ravi felt tired. The weight of the machine's question pressed on him. Was he truly ready to face it? To stand in the heart of something older than any planet and make a choice that could change the future of two worlds? Luna's hand was always there. Her calm voice guided him. Remember the promise. They came to a large chamber where a tree grew inside the stone. It was the core's heart, not just metal and light, but living wood and machine intertwined like old friends. The tree's roots wrapped around shining cables, and its leaves shone with soft blue light. Ravi stepped forward. The machine's presence filled the space like a gentle wind. It was neither friend nor enemy, but a force of nature and technology. Bound together. The machine's voice entered Ravi's mind again. Why do you come here? What will you give to the balance? Ravi took a deep breath. I come with respect. I give my promise to guard the balance between life and order, to protect both nature and progress. The machine pulsed softly. Suddenly, the chamber shook. The machine tested him. Images appeared. Cities built on destruction. Forests turned to dust. Machines that forgot kindness, but also images of friendship, hope, and life's endless flow. Luna stepped forward. We are the bridge, human and Valari. We choose to protect, to learn, to grow together. Ravi looked at the glowing roots of the tree. The promise is real, not just between two people, but between two worlds. The machine's voice changed. It was softer, as if it had learned something new. The pattern is broken, but the balance remains. Your choice is accepted. The shaking stopped, light filled the chamber like the first dawn. Ravi felt peace like never before. They stayed a moment longer, feeling the connection between life and machine. Outside, the forest of Valaris seemed brighter. The air was sweeter. Ravi knew the journey was not over, but the hardest part had passed. He looked at Luna, her eyes shining with quiet joy. We did it, he said softly. She smiled. Together, As they walked back through the tunnels, the stars above Velaris began to glow in new patterns, like a song of hope. The sun rose softly over Velaris, painting the sky with gentle colors of pink and gold. The glowing trees stretched their leaves toward the light. The peaceful song of the forest filled the air. Ravi and Luna stood near the blue leaf tree where it all began. Ravi looked at Luna with a calm smile. It feels like we have changed the world. Luna nodded. But more than the world, we have changed ourselves. The mission had ended. Earth's ships were ready to leave. Captain Mira and the team prepared to return home with the knowledge and stories they had gathered. But Ravi stayed behind. He had made a promise, and promises were not just words. They were actions, a path to follow no matter how long it took. Luna took his hand gently. You kept your promise, Ravi's eyes shone with quiet joy, and you waited for me. They walked through the forest together, the soft light warming their steps. The blue leaf tree stood tall, its leaves shimmering gently in the breeze. It was a symbol of their bond, a place of promises made and kept. One evening, as the twin moons rose high, Ravi and Luna sat beneath the tree. The stars above glittered like scattered jewels. Luna smiled softly. Remember when you said you would marry me when you grew up? Ravi laughed quietly. I remember. I wasn't sure what that meant then. Now you know, she said. Ravi took a deep breath. I want to marry you, Luna. Not because of a promise from the past, but because of who you are now. Because of everything we have shared. Luna's eyes sparkled with happiness. I want that too. They stood together, hands joined, looking out at the peaceful world they had helped protect. Around them, Velaris breathed softly, alive with song and light. Their bond was more than a promise. It was a future built on respect, courage, and love. In the days that followed, Ravi and Luna prepared for a new journey, one not of danger or discovery, but of building a life together. They would learn from each other's worlds, grow their knowledge, and protect the delicate balance between machine and nature. Earth and Velaris were no longer separate. They were connected through the promise of two hearts and two worlds united. Captain Mira visited one last time. She looked at Ravi with respect. You chose a different path, a hard one, but one worth taking. Ravi nodded. We all have promises to keep. As the Earth ships rose into the sky, Ravi and Luna stood side by side, watching the stars. The future was theirs to shape, and they would do it together.